There were some times where we'd have things like a minute-long take where it can be difficult for people to keep track of when exactly did I tuck my hair behind my ear or grab that glass on what exact syllable of what line. Now, I don't blame the actors for that. I would have done the same thing in these situations, but we needed to fix that kind of stuff in editing. I remember in the rough cut, it ended up looking like this.
Do you ever bother to listen?
You gonna finish that?
And we didn't have very much time on set to be able to do multiple takes with multiple different head positions because a band was coming in after us, so we only had 3 hours to be there. As you can see in this edit, anytime there's a clip above the main layer, I had to use split screen. And what that means, if I show you right here, is that I'm actually cutting the frame in half, and on the left side, I'm using a shot of the actress from a completely different line where her head matches the direction she was in the previous shot. Now there are two complications. One, sometimes the shoulder moves where I cut the frame in half, and that would be something I'd have to fix in the visual effects stage. Another complication with combining different takes is that I sometimes need the actors to stay in the same positions longer than they do, like here she starts delivering a line. To fix this, I would need to convert her shot to slow motion. And now that you've stretched 24 frames per second out to whatever speed, it's now a lower frame rate. We would need to fix that by adding an effect called optical flow, which generates new frames. When there's not much movement in the shot, it can estimate that motion very well.
It's a lot of work when you find an issue.
I would also do the split screen method a lot when one actor's performance was perfect in one take, while somebody else is being distracting, but their best performance is in another take. I'd once again need to cut the frame in half and then merge those two takes together. And another example of that would be this piece. I like the way Corey Da Silva was jamming on the guitar right here, but obviously that's not my best performance. I was getting into character in that very second. Corey was doing his best. And we wanted Tyler to look more agitated, and it looks like Don is wiping his nose. So I would need to find different takes for all three of us. And since it's a moving car, all of the shots were bobbling. So all that would be things that I would later fix in the visual effects stage in After Effects, and then just leave it rough for the rough cut. Another thing that's massively difficult to get right is comedic timing. You'd have a scene like this, where the two of us are talking, and it's incredibly important that Norman enters the frame as soon as James's line ends. Otherwise, it's not nearly as funny. This shot was extremely difficult to get because Tyler and I are quite a distance away from where Dawn was, so it was difficult to hear when we're finishing our lines, and there's traffic going on around. Norman would end up coming in a little late. Can't we push on past dark?
I'm not sleeping in this thing tonight.
Can you believe how much those scoundrels charged for this? Boy, back in my day, things were cheap.
So that was another situation where I would have to cut the frame down the side of the van, then grab what was Dawn's best take, and shift that around so that it would happen at exactly the right time.
I'm not sleeping in this thing tonight.
Can you believe how much those scalpers charged for this? Boy, back in my day, things were cheap.
Now those are just a few examples, but if we look at the folder that contains all the split screen shots throughout the film, you can see it happens a total of 60-something times throughout the entire movie. If we didn't have the digital tools we have today, this movie wouldn't look nearly as professional as it does.